Good morning, everyone. This is Janet Wakeland with Remarkably Created, and I believe this is our 27th live video featuring new products that are debuting January 4th from the Stampin' Up! Spring catalog, as well as options from our Sale-a-bration. So what we're going to talk about today are pretty papers. Papers have an amazing way of just adding a beautiful element to your cards, sometimes actually shortening the time that it takes to be creative, inspiring color combinations, getting you to put cards together maybe a little differently, all kinds of things that pretty papers do. So I'm going to set these aside. We are going to come back to review them. But one of the reasons why I want to talk to you about pretty papers is, depending on your craft budget, owning a full pack of every one of them may not be plausible, may not be something that is an option for you. In addition, sometimes committing to a full pack, not knowing how you're going to use it, how you feel about it once it shows up, is also something that you may not want to be doing. So one of the things that I do is I offer something called a product share, where you can get either a 6x6, 6x12, or 12x12, depending on your budget and your choice and your crafting needs, paper share for my customers and the public. So what I want to do is just very quickly review my basic paper share. This one is the 6x6 share. It is the most popular and the most common, and give you a look at all of the papers that come in that paper share. I have started billing all of you that reserved yours. For those of you that reserve and pay for yours by January 3rd, your order will go in on an order that I have going in on January 4th when the papers all go live, and they will be back out into the mail to you by January 9th. I leave on vacation for a week to check on Dad, so because I need to get them out so that I can go away, you get them earlier than usual. So let's take a look at all of the beautiful papers and talk a little bit about them real quick. So again, 6x6 is the most common size. They are cut from brand new packs of 12x12 paper. And in this case, in addition to all of the papers that are in the catalog and some specialty papers that I've added that are unique and really pair well with these, you're going to receive a free sampling of all of the Sale-a-bration papers, okay, in a 6x6 size. So the papers that you're going to receive, so this is our Trusty Tools paper, and I may not have all of the names committed to memory. And let me get all of these out there. So I'm missing one more. There we go. So there's our Trusty Tools paper. The paper is double-sided. Our designer paper here is double-sided. So you're going to have some great papers to work with. And again, this is a Sale-a-bration option that you would need to choose. That's another reason why this paper share may be attractive to you, is because with this paper share, as I mentioned, I am going to gift you the Sale-a-bration samples so that you can decide if that's what you want to pick with your qualifying order, or again, you may not be able to pick all 5 of the packs. So here we have our Flight and Airy, and this paper is just, it's my favorite. Next to, well, it's a toss-up between this and Softly Stippled. But we've got our beautiful birds, and then there's these soft, beautiful papers on this side. Then we have our Bright Skies paper, and it's got all of these really bright flowers on one side. Let me just pull them all up here for you for just a second. I know that they got all discombobulated, and I apologize for that. But you can see all of the brightness on one side. And then if we take and flip them over, you're going to have more prints. And this is designed, the Trusty Tools paper is designed to coordinate with the Trusty Tools bundle. The Flight and Airy paper just works with so many different stamps. I did a whole video just on the Flight and Airy paper. That's how much I love it. The Bright Skies paper coordinates with the Bright Skies bundle. Then we have our Softly Stippled, and this is just really soft paper. And this has kind of become my go-to paper. I just love all of the things that you can do with this paper. So you've got these beautiful softly stippled flowers. We do have a bundle called Stippled Rose, but boy, this goes with so much more than that. These prints right here, I would buy them in packs of 30, 40 if they sold them that way. I love these prints right here. So that's our Softly Stippled. And then we have a pack of paper called Mostly Adorned, or More Adorned. And it has a Valentine's feel to it, but you're going to be able to do more than Valentine's with it. And we do have a bundle that it can coordinate and work with. So on one side, you have all of the shades of Flirty Flamingo with your different pinks and your real red. And then if we flip it over, you've got all these beautiful golds. And as you can see, only one has hearts. The rest, you've got your marble swirling, your plaids, and things like that. So those are your 5 different celebration choices. And again, as a free gift with the shares, you're going to get exactly what you see here on the table. And that will be regardless of whether you're picking the 6x6, 6x12, or 12x12 size. You're still just going to get the free gift in the 6x6 size. Then looking into the catalog itself, the different papers that we have. Let me set the specialty papers aside for just a second. And this paper here is what I'm going to use to demonstrate a whole bunch of techniques in just a few minutes towards the end of this video on altering designer paper. So here, classic black and white. We've got some old school turntables, cassettes, boom boxes, some guitars, but just some classic black and white prints. And again, some more classic and white prints. This paper here just has some really nice delicate prints, kind of give you more of a muted background. And so you've got that. And this utilizes quite a few of the new in colors from 2023. So we've got those. And again, just some nice soft patterns on the back. This is our perennial lavender. And all of the papers I'm showing you, I have featured with the exception of the rock and roll paper in videos already. You can find all of those videos under the more tab, the 3 little dots, but they're all here for you. I don't delete any of them. So you've got that beautiful perennial. Then from the Nature Sweetness Suite, and again, this is another set of paper that I go to all the time. I'm missing a piece here, so I must have pilfered it, or it's up there. It is. So you've got these nice kind of, and some of these papers are perfect for your masculine cards. A lot of times, it's one of the things that we're always looking for. You've got your plaid. So there's always, like, each pack seems to have some paper that I've been able to find the ability to do some masculine cards with. And then here again, we've got our gold foiling on the reverse side. This is our Lighter Than Air. It goes with our Hot Air Balloon suite. You've got your yummy kind of cotton candy colors. So you've got all of those to work with. Again, double-sided. This was from the video that I just did yesterday with the Just Kidding, our sweet little kids. And then when we flip it over, we've got, again, lots of fun patterns. Our Be My Valentine. So we've got that. And, oops. So here you can see all of those prints. And then we've got, I think it's called our Forever Love. Something lovey-dovey. So you've got gold foiling on this side. And then when we flip it over, again, you've got some beautiful, small, dainty prints. And then I am going to sneak in a sample of our gold foil note cards as well for you. So that's all of the designer papers. In addition, because I found that as I worked, and a lot of the samples that I created and have shared here use these specialty papers that not everybody is super familiar with, the share is going to include some of our specialty papers for you, so you don't have to commit to a full pack of them. So you're going to have some of our soft shimmer papers. You can see the glimmer on them, and they all do coordinate. These are what we call our white center flowers. When you sand them, our white center papers, when you sand them, the white, or when you tear, you have a white edge. Some of our in-color luster papers, you're going to have those. Some of our textured papers, so you're going to have fun with those. Some of our 3-color glitter papers. So more of our texture, gold foil. And then the one thing you don't see in this pack that I added last minute, and it's totally while supplies last in my stash, is I have some silver foil that is retired, but it is perfect for so many of these projects. So I will be including 6x6 of that silver foil And then the other thing that I added last minute was a sheet of silver from the holographic paper as well. For those of you that saw the pricing, adding those 2 extra sheets didn't change the pricing. You'll get those in addition. So all of the pricing can be found in my newsletter. You can get them also by emailing me, and I can give you the details on all of the 3 different size paper options, and then a bonus add-on. One of the things that my customers have really taken to and really enjoy is when I offer cardstock that also coordinates with all of those papers so that you're ready to make beautiful creations with those paper shares. And then lastly, those of you receiving the paper share are also going to receive the template so that you can go ahead and, if you want, create your own little mini sampler. I do have this template also available just to purchase if you're somebody who orders your shares elsewhere and wants a template, or a demonstrator who just wants the template. But those who are purchasing a share from me, the template will be emailed to you, so you'll have that in a file to use. So those are the shares. Again, you can message me. If they're ordered by January 3rd, they'll go in on my overnight order and back out to you by the 9th. So just a real quick reminder of some of those beautiful papers and all of the different fun ways that you can put them to use. That's that kid paper. How fun is that, right? So, and all of these samples were featured in videos. So some of you are going, I saw that card. Where did I see that card? And I'm slowly adding them all to a folder. But I just kind of wanted to give you, just so you can see all the fun ways that these designer papers can be used. So just a few more here for you. I told you I snuck in that Just Kidding paper a couple of different times on you. So there's this, these birds are just beautiful. So is the lavender. They're all beautiful, guys. A couple of slimline cards because they really show off the paper. So you can just, again, see some of that paper. So lots of fun there. So now let's take these aside and let's look at some different ways that you can alter designer paper and get even more out of your investment in designer paper. So I have all kinds of fun stuff to show you. So let's lay out all of these prints first. So let's start with this one. And one of the ways to alter paper is to simply color it. And in this case, because I wanted really bold colors, I went ahead and chose to use my Stampin' Blends and just colored away. Okay, so that's one way that you have to alter any paper at all, is to add color to it. Whether you add, like here, you know, you could color in the squares or something like that. So you can always add color with any type of marker, blend, something like that. But coloring is definitely one thing that you can do. Then that's our guitar. And on the back side of that, we have, I've got a whole stash of papers here, so I need to pull them out. There was no easy way on the table to spread them out. So in this case, if you look at that, these are the 2 papers side by side. If I hold this up, you're going to see a splattered look. And Stampin' Up! Has something called spritzers. I put a little bit of 90% rubbing alcohol in there with drops of real red and then just spritz the paper. So you can definitely spritz it and give it kind of a nice little splattered look. And again, I'm showing you on black and white because it's really pronounced. And also because a lot of times people look at black and white paper and go, how many black and white cards am I going to make? So I just kind of wanted you to see those options. Then another really simple option, see if you can spot the difference here. So here, just black and white. And on this case, I have lines. And so for this one, all I did was pick some colors that I like. I'll use some different ones so that I have 2 different pieces of paper to work with. And even though these are squiggly lines, I just grabbed my ruler and I didn't overthink it. I didn't space it. I just used the fine tip on our dual tip markers. And I just started coming across and added some lines. So we'll just do a couple part way and then I'll finish it later. And speaking of later, all of the altered samples that you see, I will be turning into cards after this video. And tonight in our Sale-a-bration and 2024 photo album, I'll be posting all 12 of the cards. So you'll need to come back and check out that album. And again, I did this, don't overthink it, guys. You're just adding some stripes and some lines, but using your pencils, and again, using this as an example, I could change this up, this plaid, by going diagonal across it. I could add some black lines in between to make that plaid pop even more. So again, just adding those lines can actually really alter your paper as well with your markers. Then let's pull a couple of these in. So we have this one, and we have this one, because we're going to use the same tool 3 different times. I guess this is the side I'm looking for. Let me find the finished one. Hold on. This one. So let's move these off to the side. So we have this, and we have this, okay? And all 3 use the same tool, just in different sizes. So Stampin' Up! Has a product called blending brushes. I love these. You don't need one for every color. You can have one for like your blues, one for your greens, one for your oranges, pinks, things like that. That's how I choose to do it. And it works really, really well. You can wash them out, and over time they will just simply appear stained. So a couple of ways that you're going to do it. On the larger surfaces, when I'm completely covering a piece, I like the bigger one just because it's going to go that much faster on what I'm working on. So I'm going to be able to just go ahead and let's clean this off here. And so you're just going to tap, you're going to tap off, and we're just going to cover the whole thing, and you're just going to go over it until you're happy with how dark you want it to look, okay? So we're able to totally change that look by using a blending brush. And again, the larger surfaces, I like the big blending brush. Covers it a lot quicker. So that works on the bigger surfaces. Oh, we should leave that out. We'll set that aside. For smaller ones like this, I like to use the smaller brushes. And so let's pull this in, and I'm just gonna be able to kind of work on the tip of it. And I'm not trying to color exactly, okay? I'm not trying to get the look of what you saw here, very exact coloring. I'm just trying to create this nice muted soft background. So that's why I'm just kind of going in here. I'm not worried about going outside the lines. So we're just gonna, and then you're just gonna pick additional colors that you would want to go in here. And in this case, I used 4 different colors, okay, to color this in. And I used that exact same technique to finish it off. So that's something. And then you can just simply pick an area and just completely fill it in. So let's, and this time you notice I didn't tap off because I'm just going to go real dark and press this in. And I'm not, like I said, too worried about it bleeding out. So you can kind of go in there, but you can pick areas of your paper that you want to work with. Then another thing that you can do with your paper, so we have this print here, and gotta just figure out where it went to. Oh, here it is. You can stamp on them. What you will find is the bolder the stamp, the better, but it gives you a really fun look, gives you another way to use your stamps, and another way to use your papers is by stamping directly on them. So in this case, I have some nice bold colors, and depending on the background, okay, in this case, it's black and white, so I went with more of a brighter Daffodil Delight Coastal Cabana. If it was a softer muted background, if I was gonna be stamping, say, on this light background here from the Softly Stipples, I could pick a little lighter color if I wanted to. Of course, you can always go more dramatic and stamp a darker color as well, but I went with the darker one. So you can always stamp on your paper. So then something else that you can do is you can do washes, and they all look different. So if you look at this, this has a different look to the color than this does. than this does, okay? Than this does. Your blending brushes are going to give you more of a really soft look, kind of more spongy. Your markers and your stamping is going to give you bold, vibrant. And in this case, I did a wash, okay? And what I mean by that is, let's go with the Lost Lagoon, and I'm just gonna squish it down so I have a little bit of ink up here in the lid, and you probably saw that on some of the other papers. Our water painters have 3 different tips, and in this case, I have the brush tip, the bigger tip. I'm just gonna squeeze some of the water out, make sure I cleaned it up after my last use. And I'm just gonna pick up now the water, the color that's in this lid, and I'm just gonna do a wash. I'm just gonna wash right across the paper, okay? Just swishing it right across. And that's how I did this to create this rainbow effect on this designer paper. Totally changing the look again, giving me something fun to play with. So using your water painters and brushing color on can give you that nice kind of muted watercolor look on your papers. Then something else fun that you can do, we're not done yet, it's like those TV commercials, right? So I'm trying to figure out which paper I used for this background. One of these here, might be this one. Well, you'll get the idea. So can you see here? Totally transformed the paper. A little bit of the black is still popping through, a little bit of the white is still popping through. And the way that I did that was I used a mask, and I've got a little piece of washi tape here just to help me catch the corner. And in this case, I have one brush that I keep clean just for Versamark. Okay, so this one doesn't get used. Even though you can clean them out till they're clean, I just set one aside for Versamark. I did try to use our new brayer with this technique, but because of the depth of the mask, it didn't press in as nicely and as evenly as I want. So I found working with the blending brush was the way to go, and just pouncing straight down between the opening of your stencil. And you don't have to do the whole thing as I did. I wanted it just to be really dramatic here for you. You can just do a corner of it if you want, and then you're gonna sprinkle your powder over it. Let me hold this up and you can see the marks up here in the corner. You sprinkle your powder over and heat it, and you're gonna have a beautiful look just like that. So using your mask and things like that, you're gonna most definitely be able to alter your papers. And let me just clean this up here for just a second, and we'll just keep going. So then something else you can do is just texturize your paper. Running it through, look at that. It's gonna be a classic black and white flower, kind of formal card later on for you guys, but just texturizing them can change the look of them. The other thing, we actually talked about this in one of the videos, but just as a reminder of all the techniques, you can actually also die cut them. So here we have these great leaves, and you're gonna see, again, another classic black and white project come out of that by die cutting some of the shapes from here. And then lastly, one of the other things, and I just need a little scrap piece of paper. The only thing I'm not comfortable doing on my glass mat is using a sanding block. So I have a little piece of grid paper. I'm gonna put that down because I just don't know. It's tempered glass and it shouldn't scratch. I've cut on it with an X-Acto knife. I've run the, this blade over it as well, the one that does the dots and dashes, the scoring blade, not the scoring, the one that makes it like a tear off, okay? So we've got that one I've used, so I've cut on it, okay? I'm just not comfortable yet using this to scratch with it. So if you look at this piece of paper, you're gonna see this edge, but if you look down here, that edge doesn't look that way. You're gonna see that this looks roughed up, more grungy, but this doesn't. That's because I have a sanding block, okay? Next time you're out and about, stop by your local hardware store, pick up a sanding block. Some of them have Velcro on them, and you can just simply add fresh, different, say the word, sanding paper to it. Some of them have blocks on both sides, and so I have a softer grit here and a rougher grit here. And you're just gonna hold your paper down and you're just gonna go over it as much as you want it to be kind of gritty looking. This works best with our designer papers and our white center paper. This is not really gonna work well with Stampin' Up's cardstock because our cardstock is dyed the whole way through. There is, when you tear our paper, there is no white showing. It's not a white centered paper, but our designer papers, oh, they scuff up so nice, and they're gonna give you that beautiful distressed look. So, of course, there's lots of other things that you can still do with designer paper, but that just gives you some ideas to get you started. So, couple of things. Again, if you're interested in the paper shares, you need to know the pricing. They're open to the public. Anyone in the United States is more than welcome to order those shares. If you're a Remarkable team member watching this, make sure you check your newsletter. I did send you the team pricing on that. For some reason, the scheduled post didn't go out, so that finally went out. And then lastly, check back tonight at 6 p.m. and I will have turned all of these altered pieces of paper into cards, and we'll put them in that 2024 album. So thanks for watching, guys, and we will be back tomorrow with another new stamp set. So we'll see you tomorrow, guys. Take care.